Hi, everybody. This is Heather Coleman, your intuitive medium and spiritual guide. And I am so excited that we have Beth with us for this week's 3-card heads up for the week to come. So today through Sunday. And for those of you that do not know this, this is Beth, my Nelson's albino milk snake. That's her breed. And I think it's so cool, actually, that she ended up joining us for Fireside this week because, as those of you that follow my videos know, we're taping this at a different time than we normally do. I didn't mentally pre-plan this, but I observed Beth that this was a great time for handling. And then what I also noticed was that I had pre-selected these cards yesterday before I even realized this was going to take shape. And the 3 cards we have this week are actually from our Power Animal Oracle cards. So how about that? So all of this is just synchronistic. And that's an example of co-creation and just working in flow, which is what I'm doing this week. And I just think it's neat how it's taking shape. So before we get to the cards, I want to say that this is our first messenger, I guess you could say. Because we've got the animals this week, maybe you're drawn to the snake more than anything else. So I just want to say that it's possible you're drawn to Beth as your message or your oracle more than any of these cards. And if so, no worries. I'm going to be giving you a message about that, about the snake as an animal animal totem and a power animal, because we're working with power animals today. And then I'm also going to interpret these cards. So card number 1 right here from our Power Animal Oracle cards. Card number 2 right here. Where are you drawn? That is the question. Tune into your own intuition. Again, our deck is Power Animal Oracle by Stephen Farmer. This author has at least one other card deck that is animal-based, which I happen to have. So you can always check that out at Hay House. Hello, Beth. So before we get to the cards, let's talk about the snake as a messenger. So if you're seeing a lot of garter snakes, for example, or you just love Beth as much as I do, the snake actually is a card in both of these decks. And so if you're drawn to the snake as a message, hi, often there's 2 main things this week. Healing. You're a powerful healer. That's actually on one of the cards I have with the snake as an animal messenger, is that you are a powerful healer. And this week especially, we want to keep in mind, hello Beth, that if you are thinking of the word healer as someone who heals other people, our most powerful healers walking this earth are people who have had to heal a lot within themselves. So just keep this in mind. And allow your snake animal spirit guide to assist you with this process. So that's for you. That message is for you if you're drawn to the snake. The other piece to that message, if you are drawn to the snake, if you feel as if just Beth has a message for you, she does. In fact, this next interpretation is from Beth, who is an animal familiar. So this snake right here is a highly intelligent soul who can communicate in language telepathically. So this next message is directly from Beth. Snakes shed, and other reptiles for that matter, other reptilians, shed their skin on a regular basis. And hi, honey. So if you're drawn to the snake, and if you just love my Beth as much as I do, maybe it's time for you to shed your old skin over the next month and step into your power, step into your new identity. Maybe you're someone that regularly needs to shed your skin, and that could be literal by getting facials, doing a body wax, doing a skin treatment, exfoliating. Maybe it's and/or, could be that and/or metaphorical. Maybe on a regular basis, there's a real call for you perhaps to take inventory on what role you're playing with people in your life, your work, your personal life, and step out of the old skin into your new skin. So thank you, Bethy, for that wonderful message. Now let's get to card number 1. So if you were drawn to card number 1, we have the cougar, but with an overlap to the panther. And I say that because this animal on this picture looks a lot like a panther, looks a lot like a puma. So it could, for you, it could be any of those animals if you're drawn to this message. Taking charge would be the biggest thing to take away from this card number 1, people. Don't be afraid to take charge, call the shots. There may be people in your life who aren't clear and need your direction. Maybe it's on you to make certain decisions, even though you might be, you might be trying to take everyone's ideas into account, but if people around you are not expressing a strong opinion, go ahead and take charge, make those decisions, and step into that leadership role. Be bold and take charge. So one more time, that's card number 1. Now, card number 2, and we are, for those of you that might be just tuning in, Power Animal Oracle Cards deck by Stephen Farmer. So card number 2, the elephant. What's kind of neat is that it just so happens that I recently watched documentaries about, well, it was actually a panther the other day, but hi, Bethy, looked a lot like this, the Florida panther, and another one about elephants. So if any of you that are really drawn to this and really piqued interest, you may want to jump onto Hulu and check out their National Geographic documentaries. There's one about elephants, Secrets of the Elephants, and there's also one called Path of the Panther. So something to consider, because when I was watching these documentaries, I actually picked up on some messages from the animals featured in the documentary. And the biggest one, and this is going to piggyback on our message here with card number 2, the elephant. This message that's written on here is you will overcome any obstacles, in bold letters. You will overcome any obstacles. And so this documentary that I watched about elephants featured elephants that live in several different types of climates, but the one that stands out for our message this week were the desert elephants. These elephants live very hard lives. They have to walk very far to get food and water. They have to overcome a lot of difficult terrain, real high temperatures, real extremes in temperatures, that sort of thing. So metaphorically speaking, if you're drawn to card number 2, if your life is that hard, if you feel like you've been struggling through the desert, just know that your soul has undertaken that path for a specific set of reasons, in that you will eventually make your way out of the desert. You will overcome any obstacles, just like the elephants who have memory. They know how to work as teams, as families. They're very highly intelligent. So if you're drawn to this card, you possess those qualities of the elephants very much as they do. So moving on to card number 3 this week from our Power Animal Oracle cards by author Stephen Farmer, PhD. One of my personal favorites, the hawk. Some of you that follow my teachings know that I have a hawk spirit guide. So card number 3 people, and this is all people who are drawn to card number 3, you have a hawk spirit guide. And I love this message, speaking from personal experience. Hawks focus, which is what is on here. They do represent focus. Hawks also encourage you to spread your wings in what we might call a traditionally male way, and I'm going to explain that. Again, we've got the power word of focus here. So hawk as a power animal is encouraging you to focus, choose your priorities, and eliminate all distractions. Now, this can be very tough, I think, for women, and I don't mean to totally generalize. There are exceptions to this, but generally speaking, in today's world, women, I think, and I hear from a lot of people I know that say they would agree with this, I think women tend to have more trouble with this, especially moms, not just moms, but anyone who is dedicated to family, because women tend to be, and there was a little bit about this in the first message, women tend to be trying to take into account the responsibilities of the home, the children, the family, and then there's work and there's social life. And so, and I see this with a lot of moms, their minds are just all over the place, so many different directions. And so what's required, if that's you and you're drawn to this card, is just to get focused. Visualize a jar, and what are the big rocks you need to put into the jar? Maybe make a list of what I need to fit in this week. This is something I do as an entrepreneur and a self-employed woman. I say, this I need to make sure I do. 1, 2, 3. This is what I need to do for work today. Okay, what do I need to do for home today? 1, 2, 3. How long is that going to take? So do you see what I mean, where we're mapping out our days? This is something I do, not all the time, but when I need to, when I find myself getting scattered, I call on my hawk spirit guide, which is what the angels are and the hawk are calling on you to do, which is break out a piece of paper for the week. What do I need to do for work this week? how long is this going to take? What do I need to do this week for my spiritual, whether that's your meditations or your church, whatever that is for you, your spiritual, your family, your self-care. So make sure that's high on your list. What do I need to do for my self-care? This might sound like a lot to write all this down, but it will get you more focused. It will get that off of your mind, and it will simplify everything for you. So if you're drawn to card number 3, your message is focus by breaking down the responsibilities of your life. I like to have a 3-step process. My brain works in 3, so I'm like, what am I doing for work? Bum, bum, bum. So I hope you have enjoyed this week's 3-card reading from the Power Animals for the week of May 22nd through 28th. We'll have another video next Sunday to Monday. Thank you for welcoming Beth onto our fireside reading. I think she's really enjoyed this, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Namaste.